Hey guys, welcome to the Aranzamendi podcast. I'm happy to be here with a new episode. This is Daniel Aranzamendi, and I have some good information for you. So let's start out right away with this clip. I have a video for you guys. I'm going to play it in a second here. So this is about Elon Musk. I just came across this news article, and it showed, it had a video. It was showing Elon Musk backtracking, pretty much walking back one of the most viral claims about this whole USAID scandal, okay? So, it's been all over the news. USAID, this agency, which is very independent, is part of the executive branch, is funded by Congress, and, they are just completely derailed. They don't respond to anyone. They are spending money like, there's no tomorrow, and like, they don't care, right? So a lot of claims came out of that, Elon Musk, just getting right into it. And one of them was the fact that supposedly we were buying all these condoms to send to Gaza and Hamas, right? So I'm going to play the video clip for you. Check it out, and we're going to come back, obviously, to comment on this, because he was very politely, but very brutally at the same time, fact-checked in real time in the Oval Office, and literally just standing right next to Donald Trump. And I thought it was a great, it's just literally like a minute. So let's check out the video, and I'll be right back.
Serious money.
Mr. Musk, you said on X
Yeah.
that an example of the fraud that you have cited was $50 million of condoms was sent to Gaza. But after fact check this, it apparently Gaza in Mozambique, and the program was to protect them against HIV. So can you correct the statements? It wasn't sent to Hamas, actually. It was sent to Mozambique, which makes sense why condoms was sent there.
Yeah.
And how can we make sure that all the statements that you said were correct, so we can trust what you say?
Well, first of all, some of the things that I say will be incorrect and should be corrected. So nobody's going to bat 1,000. I mean, we will make mistakes, but we'll act quickly to correct any mistakes. I'm not sure we should be sending $50 million worth of condoms to anywhere, frankly. I'm not sure that's something Americans would be really excited about. And that is really an enormous number of condoms, if you think about it. But if it went to Mozambique instead of Gaza, I'm like, okay, that's not as bad, but still, why are we doing that?
Okay, so that was Elon Musk, guys, saying that he would say incorrect things and that they will have to be corrected at a later time. We'll try to correct them quickly, right? This is a week later after the whole USAID scandal was reported, and when they pretty much closed it down. He was fact-checked by a reporter. She told him that he claimed that, like $50 million, like in condoms, were sent to Gaza, Hamas, but it was actually to Gaza as in Mozambique. And the program was actually to protect them against HIV. And this is a very important distinction, because Hamas, as we know, obviously is a terrorist organization. So it didn't make sense anyway in terms of like sending $50 million in condoms to a place, Gaza, which the population is roughly 2 million people, and half of that is just like women. So it didn't make sense anyway. But this is why right out the gate, when they reported that, reporters were asking for evidence. They asked for evidence from Trump. They were asking for evidence from the press secretary, and they were just not offering it. The Trump administration could not produce any evidence about this purchase of the $50 million in condoms for Hamas in Gaza. So that's why reporters went. They were checking, receipts, whatever was available for the past 3 years from the Biden administration, nothing. And let me make a quick point here now about having a platform. Elon Musk and a person having a platform, reach the public, right? There's a responsibility that comes with it. Elon Musk has the biggest platform in the world, guys. 217 million followers. I just checked it right now. 217 million followers on Twitter, X. This is crazy. Obviously, he gets a ton of free media on top of that, a lot of exposure, because he is that big of a person right now. He is the richest man in the world. He is literally the co-president of the United States. He has more exposure and influence and participation than even J.D. Vance, who is the vice president, and it's been completely, at this point, pushed aside because Elon Musk is the real co-president. At some point, some people say even the president, and at the same time, even more than the vice president. Who, by the way, J.D. Vance, by the way, Trump just threw under the bus in an interview yesterday. I saw this episode on Brian Tyler Cohen, a great episode where he was presenting this video. Donald Trump was interviewed, and he was asked, hey, is J.D. Vance going to be, do you believe he's going to be your successor? And Donald Trump immediately said, no, no. He's like, no. Well, he's doing great, but, it's too early. That was an immediate, right off the bat, no. And Brian has a whole episode on that. You should go and check it. Brian Tyler Cohen. So going back to having a platform, guys. When I was, way younger, I was studying a book from this guy named Alex Grigelmo. Alex Grigelmo, he is a very, very, popular and well-respected journalist from Spain, I believe. And he was the editor-in-chief, the style editor, too, for the newspaper El País. El País is a very, very big, very popular, and very long time great newspaper from Spain. And he was the chief editor. And at the same time, he also created the style guide or the style book for the newspaper, which is everything that has to do with all the rules and every single thing that they're going to follow for headlines, for the text of your article and ethics and so on, and everything from also syntax and good writing and journalism principles. It's a great book. It's called The Style of the Editor, Style of the Journalist. So anyway, reading this book, because when I was just 20, I was launching my first newspaper back in Puerto Rico, a regional newspaper, small thing that eventually had a little bit of volume. It was a good project eventually, but started out small, and I was studying his book. And he was talking about how important it is for people who have a platform or people that are working, in the media ecosystem, to understand that people who listen, people who read you, people who listen to your podcast or that watch you on TV, they depend on you. So you have a big platform. It's very important that you make sure that you mean what you say and that you say what you mean. It's very important that you are not doing a disservice to the people by creating doubts, by spreading rumors, by even asking questions. He was very emphatic when it came to this. If you're a journalist, if you are trying to inform the people, you don't want to be asking the questions. The people ask the questions, and it's your job as a journalist. It's your job as a professional. It's your job as an authority, a person who is actually researching, who is doing, asking the real questions so you can bring the answers. That's your job. You're going to bring answers to the people. You don't want to bring them more problems. When you're in the media, that's what he would say. People will ask the questions themselves, and your job is to give them the answers. And that really resonated and made a lot of sense to me. People are full of doubts, questions, fears, problems, and we don't want to be the source of more problems. If you're Elon Musk and you have Twitter and now you are so close to the president, you don't want to be the source of more problems, fears, conflicts, even tragedies by fueling rumors, conspiracy theories, or false and incorrect information that can make and will make things worse, leading to more frustration, pain, despair, anger, and in some extreme cases, unfortunately, even suicide. Remember, people will hear something in the news about, let's say Donald Trump says that, they're closing down USAID. Some people may lose their job. Somebody may lose their job. They may be on the brink of losing their house. And all of a sudden they hear official information coming from Donald Trump's co-president, I don't know, super vice president or something, saying that, hey, we're closing this down, this is done, whatever. This is bad management. This is bad policy. We're getting rid of X and Y and Z agencies. That can lead to a lot of trauma, obviously. Like I said, frustration, pain, despair. So you want to be humane, you want to be ethical, and you want to be obviously very careful in terms of how you're going to be just sharing this with the public, with the American people. And guys, I wish that we just stop for a second to think that words really have power. Words can be really, really powerful. Please keep that in mind, because I think we just don't think of it that much these days. We just believe that it's just fine to say whatever we want to say, to offend people, to insult, to attack, just to troll, online. And words really are very, very powerful. But anyway, going back to Elon Musk. So saying that, well, I will say incorrect things and they will have to be corrected at a later time, just like that. As if he was sharing just any random, unimportant, casual information. Yeah, it's a little bit cloudy today, or maybe it's not cloudy, not that big of a deal, right? As if his post on Twitter, rushing to be the first one to break the news to the country. Wow, we found some massive corrupt spending here at XYZ agency, at USAID or whatever agency he's going after at that time. And suddenly, he is the hero. He doesn't have to wait. He's not going to confirm the information. He doesn't want to wait for, I don't know, White House, staff, or any other agency staff, or even his own, well, I don't know if his own Dutch staff is going to do any good at all, because for all we know, it's a bunch of kids, teenagers and very young people that obviously don't have a lot of experience. But you want to check these things, fact check them before you share them with the public. And suddenly he is the hero because he's breaking the news on Twitter and on X. And now people get angry and they start attacking the left and attacking Biden and attacking Kamala and the AOC and whatever, attacking the whole left wing in politics and whoever they can think of. But this is highly irresponsible. He had to walk back whatever he said, and then he says that he will say incorrect things and that will be corrected. They will need to be corrected. So in other words, he'll make mistakes. But I thought we were creating DOGE, this Department of Government Efficiency, because we are tired of making mistakes. Because we're tired of people not knowing what they are doing in government. We are tired of people being mediocres. Half-assing stuff, I thought that was the whole point of this government efficiency agency. And it's sad that he just doesn't realize that he's been given, maybe he hasn't been given, but at least he bought. Maybe he bought a great opportunity, right? And now he has great power. He bought Trump, he spent over $200 million. So now he has a lot of power. But with great power, to say, it comes also with great responsibility. It comes with a job. And Elon should be more mindful and respectful of the American people. Because yes, we deserve to know, and it's good that he wants to inform the public, the people, but we also deserve to know the truth. And actually the whole truth, not just some false, rushed, unverified narrative that coincidentally helps the right politically, helps him politically, helps Trump politically. Why? Because it doesn't matter if there's any damage, if it's false or not. As soon as it goes viral, we are winning here politically. And then, yeah, we can correct it later. At some point, we know we're going to correct it, but at least we used it to attack Democrats right off the bat. And it's useful in that way. But the sad part is that even if you clarify later on, even if you try to clarify, like he did right now, he was honest with this person and said, hey, I will make mistakes and it will have to be corrected. Perfect. Great. I'm happy that he did that, because you want to correct things when you know you've given incorrect information. But the problem is that at that point, the damage will be done. The damage is already done. At some point, it could be already irreparable damage. So you're not going to be able to reach all the people who maybe saw the first viral post, right? The tweet. You're not going to be able to change their minds and convince them that what you said first was not correct, because now you're just clarifying. So it's not going to go viral. People are not just going to be retweeting like crazy. Dave Rubin is not going to do it. Charlie Kirk is not going to retweet. Ben Shapiro, whatever. All these people that are always picking up all these cues, right? All these posts from Donald Trump on his Truth Social account, or Elon Musk, that these people are kind of like they give them the blueprint. This is what we're attacking today. This is who we are attacking today. This is what we are saying today. So once they do that, it's gonna spread like wildfire. And at that point, it's gonna be, unfortunately, too late. Even if you correct it, the damage is already gonna be irreparable. So, guys, last thing I want to share with you when it comes to this is that even though Elon Musk is now clarifying this, and he has been attacking USAID and saying that this was the worst, management and super bad in terms of like how they were spending money and just overspending, I want to read a couple of quotes from Marco Rubio to you guys, because Marco Rubio was quoted by CNN as, being one of the top defenders of USAID. And I've had so many Trump supporters reach out to me, including, some family members, talking to me about the condoms. Oh, these condoms, $50 million in condoms, whatever. And in all reality, we have a lot of Republicans that have been standing by USAID for a long time, a very long time. But now they don't want to say it because, of course, now Daddy Trump would spank them. They don't want to be, get spanked by Daddy Trump or even Daddy Elon. That's what's going on. But, let me just read 2 or 3 of the quotes here from Marco Rubio. And this is, like I said, this is coming from CNN. Let me see. Let me just find this article here that I have for you. So let me see here. So it says, the article says, Marco Rubio's most recent comments directly, because now obviously most recent comments, because now Marco Rubio is obviously backing Trump. For years and years, he was like, one of these defenders. He was always defending USAID, and now all of a sudden he feels that there's something wrong with it. But anyway, let me read from the article. It says, Rubio's most recent comments directly contradict years of support and praise he has given to USAID, including a tweet he posted in February 2017 stating, foreign aid is not charity. We must ensure it is well spent, but it represents less than 1% of the budget and is crucial to our national security. During his Fox recent interview on Monday, Rubio dismissed concerns that reducing USAID's presence could allow China to expand its influence in developing countries. However, just 3 years ago, Rubio argued exactly the opposite, urging the Biden administration in a 2022 letter to prioritize USAID funding as a key tool to counter the Chinese Communist Party's growing global influence. A longtime advocate of U.S. foreign aid, Rubio has rejected criticism of the agency and repeated comments uncovered by CNN defending foreign aid as a vital and a small part of the total U.S. fiscal budget. And I quote, "We don't have to give foreign aid. We do it because it promotes our national interest. That's why we give foreign aid. Now, obviously, there is a humanitarian component to foreign aid, and that is important as well," he said in February 2013. "Foreign aid as a part of our overall budget is less than 1% of the total amount the U.S. government spends, Rubio said in 2017 in a Senate speech. I promise you, he said, I promise you, it will be much harder to recruit someone into an anti-Americanism and anti-U.S. terrorism if the United States is the reason that person is alive today because of, the funds, USAID help. Anyone who tells you, this is Marco Rubio, I keep quoting, anyone who tells you that we can cut foreign aid and balance the budget is lying to you. Foreign aid is less than 1% of our budget. That is not true, he added in August 2019 while speaking at the Forum Club of the Palm Beaches. In his Fox News interview, Rubio had harsh words for USAID now, at this moment, saying that it takes taxpayer funds and spends them as if it were a global charity, regardless of whether it is in the national interest or not. Rubio stated, there are things happening at USAID that we shouldn't be funding or that we have many questions about, but they are completely unyielding. So we had no choice but to take drastic measures to control this. Of course, you guys did. There are things we do through USAID that we should continue doing and that makes sense, and we will have to decide whether it's better to do it through the State Department, or through a reformed USAID. That is the process we are working on, he said. He's proposing a reformed USAID, probably a USAID, a new one, which probably will not be investigating Elon Musk, right? So as you can see, there is a lot, and this article goes on and on. They even reviewed a CNN K file, which went through the Marco Rubio's Senate website, and it shows how vital he wants to consider the agency, repeatedly praising USAID's work worldwide across a broad range of initiatives. And I'm not going to read them all to you, but all I wanted you to see is that right now, Marco Rubio, which is obviously supporting Trump, he was actually defending USAID for years and years, and it was the greatest thing to help, and it was the greatest thing to prevent terrorism, and it was the greatest thing to save lives. And that goes to the point where that Elon Musk was making on that video. He said, I don't know if Americans would be very excited about, spending $50 million in condoms, to send around to the world. If you're going to think of condoms as, just something you're going to use to have sex and pleasure, of course that sounds weird, right? It's like, who wants to would you buy condoms for your neighbor because so that he can have some fun? Probably not. But if you could save a life, that's a different thing. We know there's a lot of countries that have very big problems when it comes to HIV. And if that's the case, and if we want to be pro-life, if it's about saving lives, it's a completely different approach. And I think Elon Musk is completely overlooking that. And then it comes down to gaslighting. It comes down to gaslighting because now they want to just demonize, they just want to go crazy about telling us that the whole problem that we have is just helping the poor or helping the people in need or maybe helping some other countries or even helping migrants. But it's never the rich. It's never Wall Street. It's never the banks. It's never the big corporations, right? It's never none of that. It's never the guns. It's never. So look at this. Just sharing a quick stat here. Like this is on CNBC. This is from 2024, February 2024. Tax evasion by millionaires and billionaires tops $150 billion a year, says IRS chief. $150 billion a year. Look at that. And then they want you to believe that USAID, which had a budget of, what's the budget? I think I have it here for you guys. Let me see. Check this. USAID's yearly total budget, the last one that we have numbers for, which is like 2023, it was $40 billion. Now look on the right side, tax evasion yearly by millionaires and billionaires. Look at that, $688 billion. This is obviously a very, very broad, like numbers, very general, because you have to drill it down. But the article, when you go and you find out the articles and the data, it shows clearly that most of this $688 billion, which is pretty much stolen, because they're tax this is tax evasion. They're evading paying taxes, and this is why they oppose Biden's plan to increase all these IRS agents that would be able to investigate and bring more money. That's what they were gonna find. They were gonna find all these tax cheaters, but all of a sudden, just I don't know, $40 billion is the biggest money saving opportunity that we could find. Of course, now it doesn't matter if we stop saving lives, if we stop providing water to people that need it, or saving people from HIV or whatever other things, because this agency, USAID, was actually helping in so many different ways. But they want you to believe that they were buying all these expensive, paper cups and condoms and supposedly all these stupid things. They don't tell you that every time Donald Trump goes to golf, which he has done already like 2 or 3, 4 times since he took office, if not more, because probably we don't even know all the times he's done it, it's at least around $1 million, if not a little bit more, in terms of security for that. And they don't tell you that Pete Hegseth, just took over the Department of Defense, and he was requesting like $150,000 for some emergency. Like, I think Brian Tyler Cohen just reported $50,000 for emergency paint job at his house. $50,000. He's requesting like $137, almost close to $150,000 for some emergency repairs. And I thought this was going to be the government of, controlling spending. He just got to the Defense Department, and he's already requesting some emergency, almost $130,000, $140,000, bill. For what? For all of a sudden he has this super big emergency that he couldn't afford, being this big shot, guy from Fox News, and with his military, whatever work and the money that he was getting. So it doesn't make sense. It's always about demonizing and attacking, the working class, or the people who are just needing financial assistance, have less opportunities, whatever. It's just the migrants. The border is open. They're all coming from Central America, South America, and maybe the Caribbean, because they're opening all these mental institutions. They're opening all the prisons. But there's always the claim, but no proof to back the claim. You can ask Trump 20 times what particular country is actually opening a prison. Do you have any actual intelligence report? Is it Maduro? Is it, I don't know, if it's in Mexico? Is it Guatemala? Where is this happening? We don't know. Obviously, we do know we have border crossings, but that's been a consistent thing forever. But to have like a deliberate, premeditated plan, action of like, let's just open all our prisons and let these people go. It's just nonsense. But they don't want you to pay attention to where the real spending is, or what they are spending, or what the rich are not paying when it comes to taxes. Look at that. It's, they're telling us it. At least if you think it's a great opportunity to save money, to close down USAID, and now we save $40 billion. How about we start just doing the job with the IRS and give them agents and resources so they can have these people start paying their fair share. $150 billion a year, at least, if not more, because there's a bunch of other figures that say that this could be up to $600 or more billion per year that these people may be stealing. But of course, they got Congress in their pockets. They got judges in their pockets. And unfortunately, you guys become the victims. You guys, I mean the ones who actually believe Trump and believe the MAGA movement and believe Fox News, which was found, liable of defamation and had to pay $787 million. But they're still in business. So apparently lying, for Trump, it's still good business. So anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it at that. There you saw Elon Musk backtracking the claim about the condoms, saying like, hey, I was wrong. I'll say things that are incorrect and they'll just have to be corrected later. But still, I'm going to rush. I'm going to run and, grab my phone and start tweeting right away. Let me post this. It's going to be such a scandal. I'm going to get so many retweets because I force my coders, my programmers at X to force my tweets onto pretty much everyone. So everybody's going to see it. Oh, I'm going to be, such a big shot. Well, anyway, guys, that's that. I just believe it's sad. It's fine if he can, I don't know, just somehow improve government in some way. But we know that behind this whole thing with USAID, now we know there was an investigation ongoing. They had opened an investigation because Elon Musk had said that he was going to donate some Starlink devices so that Ukraine could have internet during, some period of 2023 or so. And then after saying he was going to donate it, he ended up selling like 1,200, maybe 1,300 to the government. And he sold it twice the price actually more than twice the price he would sell it on his website. So one of those Starlink devices was like $600 on the website, but he was selling it to the government at $1,500 each. So he was pretty much just selling them super, super overpriced. And that was ripoff. He was just ripping, the American people just by selling, instead of giving to, hey, this is a time of, I don't know, war for one of our allies. So let me actually, instead of selling them overpriced, more than twice the price, let me see if I can actually give you a discount. I'm going to sell it at half the price because I'm not trying to make, a profit here. I'm just trying to help, because that's what he said. He said he was going to donate it, and then he backtracked. But then he also told the USAID that only Ukraine was going to be able to access the internet using Starlink. But eventually, apparently, Russia was also gaining access to it. How? Why? Was he not capable of, securing the system so that only Ukraine could use it? Was he providing it, with some agreement, some arrangement that he had that we didn't know about with Russia, so that they could also have internet in that, war zone? There's a lot of questions. Why were they investigating him, and why, why didn't he start with the Pentagon, which has failed the last 7 audits and has a $900 billion budget? That was a better place to start. But he didn't. He went to places where, it was convenient. And what a coincidence that when it came to USAID, he was being investigated by this very same agency. And he just killed it immediately. Right off the bat. Hey, we have to get rid of this. Yeah, this spending $40 billion. Whoa, man, this is bad for the country. Hey, they're investigating you. Yeah, I don't care about the investigation. This is about saving taxpayer money. That's all there is to it, right? I don't know. You be the judge. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm gonna leave it at that. Hey, my name is Daniel Aranzamendi. This is the Aranzamendi podcast. Hey, I'm always doing my podcast in Spanish daily. You can go and find Aranzamendi podcast Español. So if you speak Spanish, or you have some friends or family members who speak Spanish, I'm doing a podcast daily in Spanish. Obviously, that's my main thing. But I want to keep working on this channel, even if it's once or twice a week. So I'm happy to be back here just sharing this episode today. And I hope you guys, just find the information useful. And even if you don't like it, I would like to know why. Just leave me a comment for good or bad, and tell me what you think. Do you think Elon Musk is, just doing the right thing? Do you think he's just doing more than he should? Do you think he's just trying to cover his own ass with these actions, closing down these agencies? Is this part of the same blueprint that we saw with Viktor Orban, or even at some point Hitler or Bukele in El Salvador? Bukele has control of all branches of government. Even against the Constitution, he was able to preserve himself in power, to stay in power, because through his legislator, legislature, he was able to remove and even appoint all the judges to their Supreme Court. And then the Supreme Court overruled the Constitution so that he could stay in power. So I don't know. I think these people are learning from Javier Milei in Argentina, from Bukele, and they're putting a super, dictator playbook on steroids. I'm not joking. Elon Musk and it was Vivek Ramaswamy who said, "Oh, we're gonna implement Javier Milei's kind of like playbook from Argentina, but on steroids." So these people are really going for all the marbles when it comes to controlling everything in government. But we'll be able to talk more about that. And as I said, I'm going to recommend you also go and follow. If you don't follow him right now, please go and follow Brian Tyler Cohen. He has a great English channel. He also has a great Spanish channel called Brian Tyler Cohen Español. And here on my channel, like I said, you can also find my same name, Daniel Aranzamendi, or Aranzamendi Podcast Español. You can share that with your friends and family if you have Hispanic friends and family members that would prefer Spanish language, which to me is better. Obviously, I don't have to struggle with certain words, or I do obviously way better. So thank you guys. Take care. I'll see you on the next episode very soon, probably tomorrow, 1 or 2 days. I'll be back with more information. So take care, okay?